Well, the Arcturian Council. We are pleased to connect.
Hello.
Hello.
It's good speaking with you again.
Yeah. It's always a pleasure.
Is there anything that you would like to talk about before I get started?
Well, we certainly can feel the shifts in your energy since the last time we spoke, and we want you to acknowledge the positive momentum that you have created there on your awakening journey.
I've been feeling like I've been struggling a little bit lately. In what ways did you mean positive?
Well, we are talking about the overall vibration that we can feel you giving off, which is higher than it was. Now, that doesn't mean that you're free of struggle, you're free of negative emotion or challenges or anything like that. In fact, a lot of times the higher you go vibrationally, the more you present yourself with as a challenge in order to demonstrate to yourself that you do have an ability to overcome so much more. You do have access to so much more power as you continue to move forward on your journey.
I was going to ask, are the COVID-19 vaccines safe?
Mostly, in other words, there have been some instances of blood clotting as a result of vaccines, but there is no nefarious intention with the vaccines.
Okay, yeah, I figured I would just ask. If you were going to create like the best, most refreshing water, how would you do it?
Well, we would get it from the most pristine source, which might be the top of a glacier. And that would be perhaps the best place to go, where the least amount of human influence has taken place. The less touched the water has been, the better. So if you get water that's been traveling through pipes and then going through filters, and it has to jump through all of these hoops to be drinkable, then it's less pure and original in its orientation than when you can get it, say, directly from a spring coming out of the ground or something like that. That would be ideal. A well water is better because you're not passing it through so many hands or through so many pipes, or perhaps you need to filter it a little bit with a well water, but ideally you would have a spring that you would get water from. And the spring would come in an area where, of course, there wasn't a lot of pollution, there wasn't things seeping into the ground that could affect the water.
And I guess, could you also bless the water, or
Yes.
try to... Mhm.
Yes, it's certainly an effort that takes place even after you have the water in front of you to make it as pure and sound and good for your body as it can be.
If you were going to do like a Star Wars intro to Earth's timeline history, what would you say?
The human race has been evolving for quite some time on its own and with the help of extraterrestrials. In recent centuries, there has been more of a hands-off approach to helping humanity evolve. And that has brought about great challenges for all beings on Earth as they learn how to evolve naturally along with technology and the industrialization of the resources that they have. Now they are in the midst of one of their greatest challenges there on Earth, as they face many crises and are beginning to question everything, including the way they have been living their lives for decades in this lifetime in some cases. Now is the perfect timing for people to awaken, to come to their senses, to realize who they really are, and that there are better ways of living there on Earth. The possibility for a harmonious Earth filled with beings who are thriving and treating each other with respect and love is an absolute certainty. This is what is happening. And it's an exciting time to be there.
That's great. I guess I'm just thinking of what else. For sleeping, is it sometimes better to not remember dreams when you wake up? Because, like, maybe you'd feel sad.
Yes, there's that. And there's also the possibility of you just not being able to remember something because it was too complex for your mind to be able to make sense of it. So that's another reason why you might not remember.
And you've talked a pretty good amount about astral traveling and adventures in that way, and that seems really exciting. What kind of things can humans do as far as exploring that in their sleep state?
Well, you can go to other parts of the planet and offer assistance to others. You can connect with others who it's difficult for you to connect with in the waking state because of the thousands of miles apart that you might be. You can offer so much service and energetic work in places on your world that are war torn and where there's chaos and bombings and suicide bombings and all kinds of things happening. You can do so much for your fellow humans, for the entirety of the collective. And then another way that you accomplish that is by going to different dimensions and different star systems and asking for help and explaining what you feel is needed in terms of the help that humanity could use, and perhaps even some ideas as to how to implement that help. You share your stories, you share your emotions, the way you feel with other beings who then learn from you and learn from the experience of life on Earth.
That's very cool.
Sometimes you'll go and get a healing as well. You'll go to a chamber and have that energetic healing that you can only get from traveling in the astral plane.
Would that be like in a temple or on a ship?
Yes, in a crystal chamber, or just with very practiced healers like Pleiadians.
Sometimes I feel like I'm ready to quit my job, but the only problem is I have to work another 40 years before I can retire. Could you talk about that?
Well, then what you really want is change. You want something to change, and you want it to change for the better. And it certainly can. And that's something to be open to as well, not just ending something, but letting something evolve, become better, grant you new opportunities, or have an opportunity present itself for a smooth transition from your job to something else, something that's better, something that feels more aligned with your sense of who you are and what your purpose is.
I kind of sort of want that, disclosure to happen, and that I can, work with extraterrestrials in that way to help, normalize ET contact and bringing, special products to help humans and the Earth. Is that something that's possible?
Yes.
That will happen?
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about needing to work for the next 40 years because of the changes that will occur on Earth in the short term, in the decade that you're living in right now.
Yes, that's something really to look forward to. I just, does that feel like a probable timeline?
Yes, indeed.
That's awesome. Hmm. Do you have any other books that you would recommend? Um, Maybe adventure books. I was just throwing that out there.
Well, Jane Roberts wrote a book called The Adventures of Oversoul 7, and we think you would enjoy it.
Okay. So, what do you think about Twitch streaming? What do you think about the online gaming community and the internet, and how we can improve that, I guess, part of our society?
Well, it's an opportunity for people to begin working together and collaborating rather than competing. And so, as you see the evolution of consciousness happening there on your world, you'll see a change in the way that the gaming industry provides these fantasies for people to engage in, and you'll see that there will be more of a call for games that involve helping people, that involve collaborating with others to create something rather than defeating an enemy with force and violence.
I'm really into the game Dota 2. Are there any like extraterrestrials that are into it, or like it's very much a strategy game? I was kind of curious to what other people think of it, or chess as well.
Well, chess is a fascinating one for many beings throughout the galaxy who like to look at probabilities and so on. And yes, the other game that you mentioned is observed by others with enthusiasm, particularly the Zetas.
That's cool. That's exciting. If you were going to be a Dota hero, which one would you be?
Which is your favorite?
To play or as like a identity, I guess.
To play as.
I really like playing a lot of different characters. I guess I'd have to think about it. It kind of changes over time as well.
Yes, and that's how we would approach it as well, is seeing it as an opportunity to be lots of different beings. It's sort of the way a soul approaches lifetimes there on Earth, getting to experience different ways of knowing itself, different perspectives, different challenges, customs, religions, all sorts of economic statuses. That's exciting to play all the different roles as opposed to just one.
Is there anything else that you would like to say in our closing?
Be open to more guidance coming your way through the rest of this day and evening as you sit quietly and focus on your third eye. We want you to know that you can receive so much more now than you ever could, and one of the best ways to receive is just to sit in silence with an expectation that you're going to see something in your mind's eye that you need to see that will be helpful for you on your journey.
Awesome. That sounds exciting.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You are very welcome. We are the Arcturian Council, and we have enjoyed connecting with you.